Hey, Sylvia from Write Your Life, and in today's video, I'm going to show you a flip through of my project pages and my current setup for April 2020, and this is like a mid switch. I'm still in a B6, but I'm switching over to a standard size for projects because I think that works best for me. And I'm using DIYfish inserts in standard, and they fit in here so beautifully that is what I'm using. Over here, I have this. This is a metal pencil box. I don't remember the size. I want to say it's large, and there might be one bigger than this, like an extra large size. They have like a small as well. And I got this from Jet Pens, I believe, and I just have some of the current things that I'm using right now. These are the highlighters you will see throughout my planner today. And of course I have some ollie clips and paper clips in here. And this is a stencil that I like to use. This is from, I don't know the brand name, but I ended up getting it from Office Depot a long time ago. That off to the side. So the pen that I am using currently is the Sarasa Dry. I love this pen so much. It's a 0.4, but it also comes in a 0.5. And you can get these on AliExpress. I purchased mine from Cloth and Paper. Traveler's notebook that I am using is a Traveler's notebook from Traveler's Company in standard, regular, number 6, narrow size. It's in black. This is my favorite. Up here, I have the word thrive because that is my word of the year. So let's open this up. And of course, I do have a whole tutorial on how I cut down a standard size dashboard, put packing tape in between so that I could wrap one dashboard around all of this. And this paper is just, I believe, from Michaels. And on the inside, I have some Tim Holtz vellum that I stuck in. And I love it. Of course, I have to have sticky notes right away. This is kind of like an inbox that's, removable. I can move it anywhere I want to. I just write down anything I need to, and I either take that information and put it where it needs to go later, or I move the sticky note to that place. It works out for me. Because I have a dashboard wrapped around here, I don't feel the need to decorate this. Of course, I just got a new subscription box from Your Creative Studio. I just filmed that video earlier, and now I just want to decorate the crap out of everything. So I probably will collage this at some point. I just haven't had the time. This is an insert by Paper Penguin Co. It is the square grid. I took out a bunch, I think more than half of the pages in here because they were a little too thick for me. Still works, and I was able to make 3 inserts instead of 1. There's just a lot of paper in here. So I've already started this. Let me see if I can find one that I have writing on that's blank. Okay, yeah. So this is not meant to be getting things done, the GTD system. It's just a place where I can brainstorm some of these things that I might put into a list for getting things done once I have the list set. So I really like doing this. I've written on a bunch of them. Let me show you another blank one. So this is just a Tombow marker that I threw down kind of as a header because I like the way it looks once you write on it. And because this is Tomoe River paper, it holds a lot of different mediums. It will not bleed through. See there? There will be ghosting, but there's no bleed through, so that's really nice. And then the second half of this is free for me to do whatever I need to on that side. So that's my first insert. I should say that there is only one string in here. So you have to piggyback 2 notebooks together, and the center notebook is actually on the original string. So let me show you a blank project page. So these are the Carrie Harling version, and I will link them down below. These are in standard, and they're the trial. So in DIYfish terms, trial means that you get a set of 3 months, or you get like a quarter of inserts. And so this came with April, May, and this is June. So first you have this pull out calendar. On the back, you have events and projects, and then it takes your entire month and breaks it down by week, and it shows you right here what days are in that week. And then you get a page per week here to plan on, and I just stapled in the center here. So this is actually 2 pages. The first page, you go ahead and you print out that way, and then you print on the back. The second page only prints this and then this on the back, and then you cut the extra bits off. So I thought this would work really well for breaking down a project. So for instance, I have one that I can actually show you where I'm already doing it. Let me show you over here. So this one was printed on Tomoe River paper, and that's why you can see some ghosting, but it was very thin, and I wanted to try that out. This one I printed, which is April, and I printed this on standard 24-pound paper, and I did not staple it, so you could kind of see that this is one sheet of paper, and of course you cut off the extra bits. It goes in like this, you print on the back, and then this is the second piece of paper, and then you print on the back as well. And then it just sits right here in the crease, and then you can staple it if you want to. You don't have to, because you can put it underneath the string right here and it will hold it just fine. So I decided to print this out, and it's smaller, as you can see, than the standard size, because I thought I was going to put this in the B6 size, so I just shrunk it down because I didn't want to buy it again. But I decided to go ahead and put it in here, and I'm okay with the fact that it's not the same size. I only printed out April, so the rest I could print out in standard size. So the way I'm using this is for my niece's homework, since I'm doing homeschooling with her. Everyone is for coronavirus. On Mondays, since this is a larger day, I go ahead and I put any questions that I need to ask in Google Classroom, and that is put in green. The first week here, it was a little difficult because we were doing packets that we had to hand into the school until they got set up on Google Classroom. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you can go into Google Classroom, and there will be teachers available from 2 to 4, and they'll help answer any questions that you might have as a parent or as a student. And there's like this number that you call in to do like a conference call. So I have that written down here, and then I write down like any major assignments that are due. Like for instance, at the end of the month, all math for con is due. And on the inside here, I finally got a chance to use a different color pen, so I decided I wanted to use green. And I have like all of the different things that are on Google Classroom. So they have Khan, Nearpod, Google Docs, and then Class Dojo. So these are all of the things that I need to make sure that we are checking off and checking into. For the Google Docs, they're sending home assignments. Like, so let's say that they send home, like they do this thing called Would You Rather, and they'll say, would you rather get off an hour early from school or have no school at all? And then you have to choose one and write kind of a small little essay on it. And we had to learn how to submit that Google Docs and then mark it as finished, because I didn't know how to do that. This is the first time I've ever had to deal with that. So I learned how to do that. We made a video for the review of the book she's reading, which is Harry Potter, and I have to upload that still, but we did make it. So I put that down here in projects. And then off to the side here, this is where they break down every week that's in the month of April. I'm just writing down what assignments were due each week. That first week was kind of weird. Second week is still a little wonky because we're still trying to figure out passwords for all of these places. Now that we're completely set up, they are doing like this whole week in English, social studies, math. Before it was like we could only get into math, so we were doing all of the math all at once. So now it's more like one assignment for each subject. And these two are of course blank because we're still in week 3 of April. Of course, I mentioned that first week we were doing packets, so I didn't write anything down here, and I printed this out like on, I don't know, like on the 4th or something. So that is blank in case I need extra space to write anything. And then I started writing down the assignments and breaking them down into further categories. That works best for us. And then we just come in and mark them off as we're finished. And of course, you have the week 17 and 18 here. Because we're not there, I haven't filled out anything. They set up the assignments every Monday. So when Monday happens, I go on, I log in, and I write all of the assignments down. And then there is a blank grid page on the back for you to write whatever you want. Normally, I would write down the phone number for Google Classroom as well as the email addresses, but I have that written somewhere else just in case, you know, I flashed it in a video. I didn't want that to happen, so I haven't really written anything here, but if I need to write any notes for the next month, since I don't have it printed out, that's what you can do there. So that's how I'm using this one. And then I have one in here for something else that I will show you. This last insert has a craft folder from Traveler's Company, and I went ahead and stamped on this, and it's so beautiful. I love that. I wish they had it in black, but again, I probably wouldn't be able to stamp on it. If I did, I would have to use like a metallic or white stamp anyway. So there's that. I've stamped on the inside as well, and I'm just keeping some things in here. At some point, I think I'm going to use a blank insert from Traveler's Company because I do have like 4 or 5 of them. I don't know. I think every traveler's notebook comes with a blank insert, so I've just been collecting them. I like to use this grid on the back. You can put it underneath the blank sheet and use it so that you can write straight. So that's really nice. It does have a ruler on here, but I tend to like a clear one so that I can see what's happening on the page. So I have this one. And then I have a stencil by Jibun Techo in here. This is a journaling card that I've laminated because when you put paper clips on here, it doesn't pinch the page. And then just some very neutral toned washi tape in case I need it. On the other side, I have the Jibun Techo mini zippy pouch, and it just has a flap here that you go ahead and place in like this into your Jibun Techo, but I have it in my craft folder and it works nicely. I just have some Hobonichi stencils in here. I don't really use them all that often, but I feel like if I carry them, I have a better chance of using them, so we'll see how that works. I have a piece of acetate with all kinds of sticky notes because I don't like having the sticky notes throughout because they drive me crazy. They fall off of things, so I prefer to have them all in one place. And that's everything that's in the craft folder. It's wrapped around this very skinny mini Tomoe River paper insert. This is lined. And in the center here is where I'm keeping that second April Carrie Harling insert from DIYfish. So I have marked off here a couple of birthdays, and this is my schedule for my live stream. I wasn't sure what day we were going to pick. This was a rescheduled for March since I was sick. So we did AJ Flynn's The Woman in the Window, and I picked these 3 days because there were other people involved. You always want to pick a day that everyone can do. Same for down here. We are going to be doing it on the 30th. We have decided on that now. I will write that in later. We're reading Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So on the inside here, again, I was able to use a different color of pen because it's just for me. So I used red because red signifies YouTube. And I had some birthdays off to the side here in the live stream because those tend to affect when I'm going to be able to film. And then down here, I broke down some projects of different videos I wanted to work on and things. And then, of course, I've broken down the videos into sections here in the center, which is why I really love this insert. Then over here, I have worked on these videos, like breaking down what I might need and what I needed to say by the week. And I won't show you this week's because there's still some videos coming up. They're surprises. No, they're nothing amazing, but I'm just not gonna show them. And then we have these 2 weeks in the back because we haven't gotten here yet and I haven't planned ahead. I'm still trying to do catch up from March. And on the back page, you have a blank grid where you can write the next month, which is May, and you can write anything that you want to schedule for May, or, you know, if you just want to write down some kind of information and you don't have any place to put it, it can go there. So I'm really loving these. I think they were worth the money, but it's up to you. Certainly, if you don't want to buy a whole insert like I did, because this is also a DIYfish insert, these might work best for you just to put inside of a blank or grid insert that you're doing like bullet journaling in, so you have something that's already pre-planned for you. Move those off to the side and we can get to my last insert, which is the center insert on the original string. I did this with a silver Signo pen and a stencil that you saw in my pencil case. Okay, so there is a grid page to begin with this insert. This insert is called, I have it down here in the back, the Classic Trial. So I only got 3 months and you print out each month individually. You can get this in the full year, but since we're in the second quarter, I didn't feel the need to buy the first 3 months that I'm not going to use. And I will link this down below. So this will have April, May, and June in it. The first page is just a grid page. I used it for a key and to write down some projects I'm going to be working on throughout April. It has a month on 2 pages. Up here at the top, I've written out my writing schedule for how I hope it will be. I'm going to be writing for 5 days and then, of course, revising and editing for 2. Off to the side here, I have where I should be in my NaNoWriMo word count. I am totally failing at that, but it's okay. I'm still working on it. The one thing I don't like about this insert is how teeny tiny, I don't even know if you can see, that's the week. So it says week 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. They're meant to be unintrusive, which they certainly are, but you almost forget they're there. So I highlighted them. Again, these are the highlighters. Sorry, I didn't mean to drop that I'm using. This is 24-pound paper. You can see here that I've got a smidge of bleed through. I would probably buy 24-pound paper if you want to use any kind of highlighter. These ones are pretty mild. They don't bleed through a lot of paper. It's just, yeah, I probably should use 28-pound paper, but until I'm done with this pack and things get back to normal with coronavirus, I don't see myself going into Office Depot or buying anything online anytime soon. Off to the side here, I'm just writing things that need to be scheduled for this week. So all of these things that are right here go for this week. This goes for this week, this for that, and so forth. I'm not really scheduling them on the actual calendar. I'm just putting them here. This has a weekly as well. So these end up on the weekly, which I will show you in a minute. So my color coding system, I tried to keep pretty simple because there's 5 highlighters. Jade and my nephew Isaac are in purple, projects are in this blue, writing is in green, YouTube in pink, and then tasks in this yellowish gold. I don't know. It's almost orange, but I want to call it still a yellow or a gold. So, you know, there's that. And I've just been, instead of, let me show you. Instead of marking it like this, I've been kind of highlighting around because that uses less ink. It's usually when you start and stop, you get this, you know, excess of ink that bleeds through the page. So I've kind of just been making little squares with it so it doesn't bleed through as much, and that's working out fine. But again, it's not that bad. Up here at the top, you can use this as a tracker. I believe there's 30 of these. I just haven't used them for anything. I might color them in, but I highly doubt it. You can certainly see that there's room here, especially this first week. I didn't really use it. I printed this on like day 4 or 5 of the month. I could put washi tape and make things pretty. I did use one bit of washi there, but I just don't feel the need to do that. So certainly if you want to put stickers, there is room to do so, even down here. Then you get a calendar bullet journal style, so it's aligned monthly, and I split it down the center. I don't know if you can see, it's pretty dull, which is what I wanted. This is just pencil. I put Camp Nano on one side and Jade's work on the other, and this is just like more of her reading schedule, and I'm just putting any kind of struggles and issues I'm having or questions with Camp Nano over here. I tried really hard to plan in my Moleskine where I'm keeping all of my writing notes, and it just wasn't working because I don't carry it with me, and I look at this so many times a day, my traveler's notebook, that it just worked best to have it in here, if that makes sense. So you do get a grid to go ahead and plan if you want to, and I went ahead and just put some like goals that I want to reach during Camp Nano. I've reached a couple I haven't excuse me, marked off yet, so I need to go ahead and do that. But I think this is really nice. If you're someone who wants to keep everything all in one monthly spread, and then you wanted something like your your personal calendar over here or work separate from everything else, you could do that. But I chose to put this month's project, which is Camp Nano, on here. This is all the pages that I've already finished, but then you go into a weekly. Let me show you a blank one actually. So a blank one looks like this, and up at the top you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's very light. I really like that. So you can do an Alistair method up here, but this is basically your note section, so you can do whatever you want. I've used it as an Alistair method. I made my own line here in pencil and then one here, and I am color coding these as to what they are. So class dojo video is Jade because she's purple, cooking with Isaac mac and cheese because he's also purple. And then I have a video, and then this is another video, so that's YouTube, which is pink. Off to the side here, I've gone ahead and marked what days I want to get these things accomplished. And then of course here you'll see that I have a forward and a schedule arrow. Those are not originally there. I added them in, so you do get 2 blank columns to add in anything you want. I made a line down here and down here in pencil because I thought I could go ahead and put what we're eating, like our big meal of the day, off to the side. That's working nicely for me. Off here you have a nice square to put whatever you want. So I've been trying hard to stick to the key that I have up here in the front. So you can see I have a triangle because those are appointments. And then of course anything in gold are tasks. This happened yesterday and I did all of this stuff. And I haven't even marked it off because it's early in the morning and I failed to do so. Anyway, down here you'll see a purple again for Jade, so it just helps catch my eye. And again, instead of making, you know, a full mark across, I'm just, you know, outlining the rectangle so it doesn't bleed through as much. Right here you can kind of see bleed through from the other page, and I'll show you what that's from. But I'm really loving this. We're on day 17 here, so we still have 3 days left of this week. You can see here that I marked that this is out of the house. So even before coronavirus happened, I tried to pick one day out of the week where I do all of my errands out of the house. Since I do freelance writing at home, I don't really have to go outside of the house much for anything. So here was my list of everything I needed to do: groceries, mail, library, internet at my sister's house. I did that video yesterday, and then I had an appointment. So all of that stuff got done. I don't have to leave again for another week, especially since people are sick. I think it's best to do so. And this is really working out. I really like it. And I just have my Ollie clip here that I toggle between my monthlies and my weekly. So then we go into the dailies. Let me show you what a blank one looks like first. So off to the side, it has 1 through 12, and then 1 through 12 again. So you have a whole 24 hours. You can ignore it because it's very light and just use this as like a journaling page or divide it however you want. So over here on the 13th, I divided it in half, and I had like scheduled stuff off to the left and then tasks off to the right. I color coded what was happening. So, you know, pink is for YouTube here. And then anything in blue was a project that I was working on, and then YouTube again. And then these were just some things that I had to do for this video, some tasks. Up to the top here, you can go ahead and use this like you would in Hobonichi and put down a couple of things that are your priorities. It's a great way to go ahead and pre-plan. So for instance, if I had something that I wanted to do or focus on this day, I would write it here. And then when I got to this day, I would say, okay, I remember I need to do this. And then that day I would schedule it and do it. Over here, I played with breaking things down into categories, and I made 4 different ones. So morning and afternoon for my time schedule, and then tasks. And then I was going to the store, so I made a little bit of a list. Well, I didn't go to the store, actually. My sister did. So I made a little list here. You'll see circles, and I did some circles because these were just things like I woke up at this time. I want to know what time I'm waking up every single day. And then this is a note. And I just wanted to make sure to remind myself that Jay was off work that day. And again, this was like, it's a little bit of a note, but I wanted to write down what time we watched this movie, Shaun of the Dead, because I love watching pandemics during a pandemic because I'm crazy. Day 15 and 16. So again, this time I tried to use the entire page instead of breaking it down in half or into categories. And at the bottom here, I just made a line in pencil and I put a little note. So the casino here is going to be opening on May 1st. They've already sent out a note to employees. We'll see how that goes and if it really happens. Off to the side here, I had some space because I didn't wake up until 7:30. And so instead of writing, random stuff, or again, you can put stickers or washi here, I just put a quote. Tomorrow is often the busiest day of the week. It's a proverb. So yesterday was the day I went and did all of the errands. So everything here is in gold. There was some space down here where I could make another pencil line and put another note from yesterday if I wanted to. I didn't really feel a need to. There's still space here where you could put some stickers and make things pretty, but for the most part, I just want it to be functional and that works for me. And here we are today, so I will make a note later of when I made this video and what I made it about. I'm going to do a bunch of writing, and my niece will be here, and she has homework that's due by the end of the week, so we're going to work on that, and I will make notes about that in here. And that's a little different than this guy. So since this is by the week, we're on this week here, I just mark off what is due, but then I make notes about what happened here. Like if I have any questions or things like that, I make those notes here, and then I can make another note also here. So I usually have this and this open when it comes to being in the Google Classroom conference call to make sure that I, ask any questions that I need. Normally, I took this out to show you, but normally this goes right here in the center of this insert. You can see how much smaller this is because I shrunk it down to fit in a B6. This could probably fit in a B6 Slim pretty nicely because it is not going to be as wide as B6. And of course, this string holds it in here just fine, so I don't need to staple it or anything like that. At the end of each week, which I have marked here, you get a blank grid page. And so this is where I put stuff that I need to schedule, like watch Rear Window. So I found out that the book that we read for March, The Woman in the Window, people were saying that it was a ripoff of Rear Window, which is a movie by Alfred Hitchcock, and I wanted to watch that. So I made a note here that I wanted to watch it this week or by next week so that when I go into the book club for Harry Potter April 30th, I can mention that I watched it and what I thought about it. So I have that here. So anything like I'm not sure where I want to put it, like something like this, it just goes on this page here. Also at the back, there are, I believe, 3 blank pages. 1, 2, 3. I just keep sticky notes on here, and I've been putting like information that I want to move around because this is only for 1 month. I have been writing down teachers' names, their email addresses, and the phone number for the conference call for Google Classroom so that I can move it into the next month. And I've just been putting them on these blank pages. You could certainly put a to-do list or a to-buy list back here, but I have all of that stuff in another insert in my B6 that I'm using currently. So once that fills up, I might move it into here if I'm still in these inserts, but I really do love them. They're getting me, on track, especially for project pages and stuff like that. It's working out so well for me. So that is everything that is in my standard Traveler's Company notebook. And I mentioned, because I keep so much crap in here, that this sticks out a little bit, but it doesn't bother me. I think I might end up adding in another insert in here, and if that happens, I'm gonna have to move up to my 4-string Foxy Fix. I really love this, but I love my Foxy Fix too, so that's okay. All right, my name is Sylvia. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope that this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.